Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. You already know what's going on. Your favorite cousins are indeed back. I'm your host, Cam Silver,
I am your co-host Kyle Silver.
and we are the Silver Boys. So, Kyle, last week was a little slow,
Mhm.
felt like we were just passing the time, but we got a lot of things to talk about. So it ain't really no time for me to sit here and hit y'all with a little preview or nothing like that. We just gonna dive right into the ocean and start swimming.
We gotta just go. We gotta jump right in, dog. Go right into the deep waters. Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right. So something huge happened over here on the East Coast. Now, Mikal Bridges has been traded to the Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, four unprotected first round picks, a protected first round pick via the Bucks, an
Mhm.
unprotected pick swap, and a second rounder. The Nets are getting a lot just for Mikal Bridges.
And Nets, the Knicks definitely gave up some things for Mikal Bridges, but it's I think it's worth it. I think it's really, really worth it. Mikal Bridges is that guy. Like he is that guy.
Okay.
He is when you talk about an Iron Man, when you talk about durability, and we talk about the best ability is availability. Mikal Bridges is all of that and more. Perfect person for Tibbs to play because he plays on the defensive end. He could go out, he could score off the dribble, he could go get you a bucket. Like, we got Mikal Bridges is tough. He's tough, and he don't even got to move either. He really don't even got to
Yeah,
move.
yeah, no, he not going anywhere at all. I love this pickup. I feel like he fits their system perfectly.
Mhm.
Obviously we've heard the rumblings of maybe a Paul George coming in, but I like you said, the best ability is availability,
Mhm.
and he's here, and he hasn't missed a game since high school. Think about that.
Exactly.
Think
Exactly.
about that. That's a lot of games to be played. Um, Comes with a lot of experience. He's been to the finals already with that Phoenix Suns team, and he held it down for as much as he could with the Nets.
Hmm.
And I'm glad to see him in a winning position on a winning team with teammates that he has won multiple championships with, too. People forget, obviously they were the stars in that 2018 championship, but people also forget that they were only, most of them, like with Jalen, Dante, Josh, and himself, they were only freshmen when they
You
won
talking
that
about them
2016
Villanova
championship.
days? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They were
Yeah.
only freshmen when it was Ryan Archidiakono who was leading that team in 2016. So,
Hmm.
proven winner all around. Like you said, he's a two-way player. He could play on the defensive side, which obviously if you guys know Coach Tibbs, you're not getting on that court unless you play on the defensive side, and he plays very, very, very great defense. And like I said, I really love this pickup for them, and I think that it's not going to put them over the top, but it does make them more of a threat than they were before.
I think it makes him a huge threat, like even more than before, because, albeit if Julius Randle comes back to form the way he was looking, and now the fact that Jalen Brunson has more than one person to rely on, because
Hmm.
before we were just relying on Dante and Josh Hart, but the fact that, he can rely on Julius Randle now, he can rely on Mikal Bridges to actually be there as well. He can rely on Josh Hart. You got Dante coming off the bench, and talk about chemistry. Chemistry is everything nowadays in the NBA.
Yep.
Being able to play with guys, go get it in the trenches, go get it in the mud. Those guys have done it before in them Nova days, which is crazy to me that they just like reassembled this team in New York. Like that's real life wild.
Yeah. Out of all places, too, right?
Exactly,
In New
exactly.
York, when you're
Exactly. You got
literally based
four
in
of them
Philly.
now. You have four.
Yeah.
As if three wasn't enough. Now you got
Yeah.
that know each other, know how to play. Like, and they going that camaraderie is going to be different and they're going to be there for each other throughout, their tenure together.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a winning culture that's being established with the Knicks right now. And like a go get it mentality. And I know that these guys are going to be able to go and get it. I really only see Boston standing in their way. Um, because, I don't think Philly has enough. I really don't think that they have enough. They lost to Indiana, but that's because of injuries. I think they would have took Indiana if, they had their full squad. If OG
If
never
OG
pulled
would
his
have stayed
hammy,
healthy, yeah.
if OG never pulled that hammy, I think they take it because OG is that defensive presence on the court. And if he can stay
Hmm.
healthy and he can stay in it, now you have a whole different series on the line. And talk
Correct.
about keeping up with points, you're able to keep you was they weren't even scoring over 100 points in that Philly series. Now they was scoring and they was up there in the 120s with Indiana. So now you're adding at least another 20 point per game scorer in Mikal Bridges. So think about that.
Yeah, yeah, and you're also adding somebody who has had their number called to be the number one player.
Yeah.
So just in case if the defense is very stingy with Brunson or Brunson just doesn't have it, guess what? I could turn to my right. Hey, look, there goes Mikal Bridges on the wing right there. I could turn
Yep.
to my left. Oh, look, there's Julius Randle over there. So now that he has a lot more to play with and he doesn't just have to rely on himself and keep going for 40, 40, 40, 40, 40 every night, which he more
Hmm.
than likely will obviously hit those 40 marks again, but he
He's
doesn't
still
have to
gonna
do
do
it
it.
consistently. He
Hmm.
doesn't have to tire himself over and over and over again. Now it's like, okay, I can get Mikal. Mikal is capable of putting up, 20, 25, even 30 sometimes. Julius, he's going to have games where he's putting up 30, 12, and 10 or whatever.
Hmm.
So they did Jalen Brunson a lot of justice here in getting this and making sure that they get someone like Mikal Bridges and then helping out this team.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Even talking about it, OG getting into that, like, OG signing his contract, and they had the reports of, I know I'm gonna let you get into it, but they had the reports of how OG had max contract offers from other places and
From other,
he didn't want it.
he didn't even budge, yeah.
He stayed, which it tells me everything I need to
Oh,
know.
oh yeah, yeah. Like he think about it. OG. So for those who don't know, he intends to sign a 5-year, $212 million contract to return to the Knicks, which is huge. And then obviously, I don't know if it would have been in that range. I'm thinking other teams probably would have had it in like the 180s
Yeah.
ranges more so. But just the fact that other teams were sitting there trying to max him out means that, he comes with a lot of he comes with a lot of what's the word? He comes with a lot of pedigree.
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
comes with a lot of
absolutely.
pedigree, and he's a two-way player. He's not just a defensive player. He can hit the three. He can get to the basket. So the Knicks just reloading right now, and they look real good. They look real good. And
I ain't seen the Knicks look like this in a ever. I don't think honestly, ever. Like
yeah, no,
like to be
it's
this
basically
confident about a team. Like I'm
it's
confident
basically
about the Knicks.
it's basically been like since like the 90s since we've
Exactly.
seen something a stack team like this, which is real cool to see. But
Exactly. Like that MSG and whatnot. So
going on to the Nets, as we just said, the Nets get a slew of picks. They also did their own trade, but this one was just a trade of picks. So the Nets had traded a 2025 Suns pick swap, a 2027 Suns first rounder, and a first round and another first rounder, and swapped and 2029 to Houston for their own 2025 pick swap and 2026 first round from the James Harden trade. So basically, the the picks that they gave up for the James Harden trade, they just basically took those back. And along with the Knicks draft capital, now they have their own big draft capital. So now that's raising questions of who are the Knicks trying to target right now. And that will be that will be something to see, as well as the fact that they are intending to sign Nick Claxton to his own max contract of 4 years and 100 mil.
wow. Wow. That's interesting. Nick Claxton definitely deserves it because I've seen him progress a lot
Hmm.
over the course of his career, like in the NBA. I like the way he's headed. But yeah, they're loading up for something. They're loading up for something, which they should be because they have nothing going for them now. You just traded away
You
Mikal
just traded
Bridges.
him. Hmm.
So it's like you got to do something here. I don't know what that could be. Really, I really don't know what that could be. But I yeah,
Yeah, no,
I guess we should go either way and find out because
it's
I
been it's been so many other things happening where I just haven't really had the chance myself to even think about it, to think about
Mhm.
who they could go after. Um, so it's you could just tell that they're gearing up for something,
Yeah.
and now it's just depending on who are they gearing up for. you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, no, they just traded, like you said, they just traded away their best player. I'm hearing Cam Johnson is getting a lot of interest from other teams, especially a team like the Lakers. So
Wow.
it's yeah, I anticipate the Nets team to look a little different next year.
Most definitely. I think they're gonna definitely be making a lot of moves with before like, before the opening tip of the next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um, Other signings. Malik Monk signs a 4 year, 78 mil deal with the player option with the Kings. Bam Adebayo gets a max contract for 3 years and 166 mil with the Heat. We talked about OG. Scotty Barnes intends to sign a 5 year max contract up to 270 million, which will make him the highest paid player in Raptors history.
Mm,
Cleveland Cavaliers named Kenny Atkinson as their next head coach, and that's in hopes to keep Donovan Mitchell.
mm,
JJ Reddick will now be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and we'll get into more of the Los Angeles Lakers later on. The Thunder trade Josh Giddy for Alex Caruso, I like that trade a lot for both teams, and we'll explain that in a second. And the Wizards trade Denny at a Avdija yeah, Denny Avdija to the Portland Trailblazers for Malcolm Brogdon, the 14th pick in the 2024 draft, and a 2029 first round pick and future second round pick.
Okay, a lot to get into in that one.
Oh yeah.
Nah, but okay, Scotty Barnes signing his contract deserved.
Hmm.
Um, Alex Caruso for Josh Giddy, I love it. 1000%, 100%. Because they need somebody like Alex Caruso, a go-getter, somebody that's just a rough rider on the dirty end, and a vet,
Hmm.
somebody that's been to, a championship before and like actually been had a lot of experience with somebody like Braun and to bestow some of that knowledge upon these young cats like Jalen Williams, like, SGA and them boys. Like that's amazing. That's amazing. Um, Kenny Atkinson to Cavaliers. Interesting. Very, very interesting because that was obviously in hopes to keep Donovan Mitchell, like you alluded to. Um, I like it
Also,
a lot.
what right
I like
right
it a lot.
before you continue on with your thought, also Kenny Atkinson did coach Jared Allen and a couple of those other players on that Cleveland roster, so
Mhm.
he is very familiar with some of those guys on that team. But
Experience with those guys. Yeah, no, no, no.
hmm
I don't know. I don't got nothing else to say, but very experienced with those guys. Um, I like it a lot because Kenny Atkinson knows what he's doing. Um, and it's not like JB Bickerstaff didn't know what he was doing, but maybe the guys just wasn't buying into certain things. So having a new voice in there, having Kenny Atkinson who knows what, who really, really knows what he's doing, has like credentials behind him and whatnot. Like
hmm
he maybe he could get that Cavs team over the hump. I don't know where that hump is because I still got them like
you basically still have them in
over
the same spot
fifth.
that they always stop in.
Exactly.
They're always
Exactly.
going to stop in the same spot. So
Exactly. They're not going to be they're not going past the second round. They're not a
mm-mm.
second past the second round team.
They don't have the firepower to get past the Boston, get past the New York. So
Hmm.
mm-mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm in a complete agreement with you on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of things going down. Let's get into might as well do it. Let's get into the Lakers. So the Lakers signed JJ Reddick. Um, we've alluded to this. We talked about it a few times, and I've always been skeptical because I'm like, I don't really want another first year head coach, but I feel like this is a little bit different.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna sit here and talk about, the fact that, it was because he was with Braun and all that stuff. People gotta understand it's not like he just became a basketball savant because of LeBron James. He's always
Yeah.
been a basketball savant. Go back and look at his other podcasts when he would invite players on like Wemby, KD, and all that stuff. Like one I would tell you all to listen to, go listen to him when he's talking to KD.
Hmm.
That's a very, very, very deep dive into what basketball really is. You know what I mean? To deep dive into two like great hoopers who literally love the game so much that they talk about their routines and etc. So JJ
Hmm.
Redick is I'm not gonna say he's qualified, but he has a connection with players. He knows the game very well. He studies the game a lot. He's a student of the game still to this day. And I've grown to like the decision. that they have made, and then also the draft. We'll talk about
Hmm.
that in a second too. The draft has also proved that I will follow him on this in the direction that he's going.
I completely agree with you. JJ is earning I'm not gonna say he didn't have it, but he's just earning my likeness towards him being a head coach right now. I know he
Hmm.
doesn't have a lot of, head coaching NBA experience, but he knows that. The entire world knows that. So it's just more about what are you gonna do about it? And
Right.
I think that he's proven to us that he can go and do something about it. Just in talks of, but not even Braun, like you said, just in talks with a plethora of NBA players and talking routines with them, talking, schematics with them, deep, deep schematics, what to do in certain actions when certain players have the ball versus or
Hmm.
when in the weak side versus the strong side, you know. And I really, really think that he's gonna be a real a real factor in getting the Lakers efficient buckets and not having them on long droughts anymore.
Right.
Because he's going to find a way to get them efficient threes. He's going to find a way to get LeBron to be able to shoot 38, 39, 40% from three again, and put him in certain actions that will be able to do that. Put AD in certain actions that will be able to do that. And then, I know you said we were about to allude to it, but I mean, like Dalton Connect, who they just drafted in the first round is a major pickup for them because it fits the type of coach that JJ is.
Right.
Um, and it fits like, I think when they did that, if it completely solidified what he's trying to do with that team, what he will be trying to do with that team. Um, so I got confidence, and I just hope they give him time to actually get it out. Don't give him
Right.
the all-star break. Like not like don't like you got to give him time and like let it come to fruition because things don't happen fast in the NBA. Like
Right.
things do, but things take time if you want to build a championship team and a championship roster and a championship organization that can sustain itself for years to come, and that starts with the head coach and that starts with JJ. And I
Hmm.
I think that he's like just the type of passion and fire that he got in him. I think that's more than enough
Yeah.
to get them
Yeah.
over the hump.
Yeah, yeah. I think that will feed into the culture, and I think
Hmm.
that's what they were missing a lot was just the passion to play.
Hmm.
Honestly, just going out there every night, no matter what, just like giving it your all. And that
Hmm.
was the biggest thing I think we would see with this Laker team is the fact that sometimes they have it, and when they do, they look like the greatest team ever. And when they don't, they look like the worst team ever.
Hmm.
And there is never any medium. And I think with JJ can be able to find the medium and have the guys buy into his system and to what he's trying to implement for everybody to
Hmm.
come in and follow through. Um, but yeah, I like I said before, I'm slowly but surely following into his plan onto what's
Hmm.
happening. And like I alluded to before with the draft, like when they drafted Dalton Connect,
Hmm.
who I am a huge fan of. If you guys heard us talking during the college basketball season, you guys know that he's someone that I would talk about frequently because
Hmm.
of just the things that I would see him do twice to three times a week, every week. You know what I mean? He would go out there and he just get bucket after bucket after bucket. He's one of the best, if not the best shooter in the draft alone.
Hmm.
And he might be, and I believe he is the most pro ready out of everybody in the draft.
Absolutely. I agree
You
too.
know,
I
he
agree.
23 years old, and that was the thing that people said, that was the thing that scared him. But if I'm being honest with you, I'd rather have somebody who is mature and who has been there than rather have, some young guys. Because guess what? The young guys are gonna take a while to
Hmm.
pick up the pace, pick up the speed and things of that nature. They're always gonna show flashes, but it's gonna be like, all right, like how long is this gonna take? Like we can go back to last year with the Miami Heat with Jaime Jaquez. Jaime Jaquez, as soon as he hit the ground running, he became the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was someone
Absolutely.
that were turning a lot of heads, and that was something that, as a Laker fan, I was like so jealous because I'm like, man, we really had a chance to go get this guy.
Hmm.
But, I think they learned from their past mistakes and just the fact that, they have JJ in there who knows the game,
Exactly.
who really studied the game and who's probably sat there looking at, all these guys and was like, if he falls into our lap, then we're taking him with no questions asked. So
No hesitation. Yeah.
yeah. But
Absolutely. I love the pickup. I'm gonna give JJ his chance. I really am just because I like him. I really, really do. And I think that he's like, I think he's the perfect person, not perfect coach, not I think he is the perfect person that, can overcome a lot of the things that the Lakers have lacked in these last couple of years when looking for head coaches. He's someone
mhm.
that's not going to take no BS. He's someone that is not going to take no for an answer, and he will get up in your face and he's going to challenge you.
Oh yeah,
And I think that that's great. He's not going to lay over. He ain't going to just accept things. Like it's not that I don't see that happening. I'll be shocked. I'll be genuinely shocked if that does happen, but I don't see it happening because he knows the game. He has a feel for the game. He loves the game, and that's all it takes sometimes. That's all
yeah.
it takes sometimes.
Yeah, and what he played 15 seasons. I think 14 out of the 15, he's made it to, an NBA playoff. So he knows what a winning culture is like. He knows
Hmm.
what to do in a winning culture. So
Hmm.
I'm all for it at this point. So you
Yeah,
can't turn back. So you just gotta be all for it. But
exactly.
excuse me, moving on to the NBA draft. The NBA draft happened this week, Wednesday and Thursday, which
Hmm.
is to me just still weird. Just they should just keep it at one day. Just keep it at one day. Because I promise you, not a lot of people were really paying attention to day two. They were just looking at it on their phone most of the time.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
yeah, let's get into it. So I'll give you. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. I'll give. It's just too much. I'll give you my favorites from
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Um, Stephon Castle going to San Antonio. I like that a lot. Devon Clingan to Portland. Rob Dillingham, who originally got drafted to San Antonio, but then Timberwolves found a way to move up and snatch him, which is a really, really good sneaky pickup.
Hmm.
We talked about Dalton Connect, who I liked a lot for the Lakers. Going to Terrence Shannon Jr., who I believe was a steal for the Timberwolves. Um,
Absolutely.
Baylor Shireman going to the Celtics, which is huge. I like that a lot as well. Tyler Collect, excuse me, from Marquette. Originally supposed to go to the Trailblazers, but they traded that pick over to the Knicks. So another point guard coming in with a taller point guard too, might
Hmm.
add. Very good at getting to the bucket. A little taller, not much taller. I thought he was a lot taller, but he's only 6'1". But a little taller, but still good. Still a good point guard that I like a lot. Um, Antonio Reeves going to the Magic, Harrison Ingram going to San Antonio, Tristan Newton getting picked up, going to Pacers, Quentin Post. Probably a lot of people who probably don't know nothing about him. A good center, agile center, someone that the Warriors really, really, really needed.
Mm, good
They
pickup on
really
them.
yes
Yeah.
they really needed a center like him. Obviously Bronny going with the 55th pick to the Lakers and Kevin McCullough Jr. going to the Suns. That's a good little sneaky pick right there as well.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah, no, those are right now my headliner top favorite picks that I got.
Nice. I can't, I ain't going to disagree with you. I'm going to defer to you and your basketball knowledge and expertise that you have shown me so passionately over the years, Cameron. But, I'm going to talk about I like Jared McCain actually to the 76ers. I think that might be a little sneaky pickup that you
Hmm.
could like because I think he could shoot the ball very well. He could maybe like run along like coincide with Tyrese Maxey, I think pretty well as well. And he's just another, bucket getter that in going average, maybe 15 to 20, 17 a night, maybe, if
Yeah,
he could just find his footing and find what he needs. Um, Donovan Clingan, like you said, I ain't going Donovan Clingan like that. Just interesting to see how Portland's gonna deal with that because we alluded to before we started, they still got Rob Williams a third, and you got DeAndre Ayton, so to have a third center in there is a little like it'll be a little
it'd be.
messy, but we'll see how it goes. But he was the best center available at that time. Zach Edey to Memphis, I think that that's going to be super super duper interesting to see
Hmm.
because he lacks a lot of versatility, but um But I think that he might be able to work well with Ja, with Desmond, and his progression into the NBA needs to be able to guard the pick and roll and be able to be in a pick and roll with guys like Ja, with guys like Desmond, and maybe even a guy like Jaren Jackson too. That'll be really important because now you're throwing two sides, two big men,
Too
in
big,
a pick
yeah.
and roll. What are you gonna do with that, right? But that's up to Zach Edey to really like get through on that progression and see what he could do with that. Don Connect, yeah, we talked about that one. That's really what I'm feeling. Bronny, obviously, to the Lakers, shout out Lakers, shout out Rich Paul, shout out LeBron. Crazy nice. I'm happy for him that he did get drafted. I'm happy he's gonna be able to play with his dad. We ain't never seen that before. I think that's gonna be super, super cool. It's not nothing we've ever seen before. Um, I think they're gonna start him out in the G League, obviously, just because, I think he still needs to progress as an NBA player. Um, but I can see him being a really, 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 really good role player down the line.
Hmm.
Um, just really doing the extra things that other guys may not want to do, on the court, diving for loose balls, getting it out the mud essentially. So that's what I'm feeling too. We'll see how it goes. I think it was a good draft though. I think a lot of teams did well. Minnesota did very, very well. I really, really like their two pickups that you alluded to. Because now you got two more bucket getters, two more guys that could go get it off the dribble along with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns too.
Yep.
So we'll see how that works as well.
Yeah. I don't really have much disagreement with you. Yeah, I'm very excited for Bronny and see what the future holds for him. Obviously,
Mhm.
all eyes will be on him. He'll be like the Caitlin Clark of the NBA for this season, and it'd
They
be
gonna have us
it's
watching the G League, son.
yeah, more than likely, more than likely. But it's gonna be very, very interesting to see. One thing that obviously we've come across was people talking about, oh, the only reason why Bronny got there is because of his dad, this, that, and the third. I'm all for nepotism
Hmm.
because we see it so much in other places,
Hmm.
and I think people just hate Bron so much that
Yeah.
obviously they're gonna get on his son, which makes no sense to me because it's like, bro, like he's not LeBron, you know what I mean? That's somebody else right there. It never made any sense to me. So it's like if you don't understand any of this,
Hmm.
I'd point to go search up front offices in the NBA or search up front offices in the NFL, like we
Hmm.
had talked about before we started recording.
Hmm.
Um, go to the Dallas Cowboys. Look at who's in their front office. Look at the last names on our front office. You
Yeah.
got you got Jerry Jones, who's obviously the owner. You got Stephen Jones. You got Charlotte Jones, and you had Jerry Jones Jr.
Hmm. Hmm.
All four of them are all in high power positions. Why? Because of their pops. You know, it doesn't, it's the same exact thing. So why can't we just let, Bron and Bronny rock with this one? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just like
Hmm.
have their moment. So, and then, you have Giannis with the Giannis, you know what I mean? With the Nats, excuse me.
Hmm.
It's the same exact thing. Giannis said, I'm not going to go nowhere unless my brother can come with me, as it should be like that.
Hmm.
The whole thing is to uplift your family and keep them going and keep them coming with you. And it
Hmm.
should inspire everybody else to do the same thing instead of tearing each other apart.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Even like the Mara family with the Giants, that entire family,
Yeah.
from the grandfather down to the pop down to the kids, like, you know what I mean?
You,
Um,
you can put you basically could put all their names on a sheet of paper and be like, yeah, these are going to be the next owners when such and
exactly.
such wants to leave. Like,
Exactly. Um, it's just the power dynamic that we see nowadays,
yeah,
and it has been in place for however long. But just let them have their moment. Like Brown said, he wanted to play with his son. He was able to get it done. Why are
yeah,
you mad at him?
yeah. You
Like,
can't be mad at that. Like, that's something that should be celebrated instead of hated.
hmm. Hmm.
And we seen it, and it was like seeing the same thing with the Ball brothers.
Hmm.
People were hating so much on LeVar Ball, but guess what? He got two out of three kids to the NBA.
Yeah, that he
It don't
did.
it don't get no better than that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Hmm.
that should be like that type of stuff should be celebrated more and more often instead of us, sitting here hating on it and getting on them about it. No, that should be something that we're like, great
especially
job.
within our community and whatnot.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
That should be a great job. Bron's going into his 22nd year. You know what I mean? Who would have thought that he'd ever make it this far and still be, the same caliber player, maybe even better than he was when he was younger?
Exactly. Exactly. Most probably better, like honestly,
Probably better,
just in
exactly. And I
terms
think
of decision making.
exactly, just in terms of the IQ. But we got to get up out of here. But yeah, that was just one thing I wanted to allude to, just just for everybody to understand. Like
Yeah.
it's deeper than what you guys think it is, and
Mhm.
don't hate on it. Just love it.
Just go with it. There's nothing else
Yeah,
you can do about it. So,
yeah. If
right.
you know what I
Sit
mean.
back
If
and watch the show, right?
you give anybody ownership in anything, guess what they're gonna do? Hand it off to their kids. That's what you're supposed to do.
It's like it's the playbook.
If they want it, if that's what they want, word, I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
You know.
hmm
But
hmm
that's it for the Silver Boys this week.
What a good one. What a good one, brother.
I had a lot of things to talk about, and it's gonna be a lot more to talk about with more free agency things going on. Summer league's coming up, Olympics coming up later on next month. So, yeah, we got a lot of things to. We're gonna keep rolling this summer. This summer's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely. We had plenty of things to talk about. You know we
Yes,
cover it
sir.
here. You already know.
Yes, sir. Stay tuned for it all. But till then, I'm your host, Cam Silver,
I'm your co-host, Kyle Silver.
and we are the Silver Boys.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cam Silver from the Silver Boys. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel and like our videos. Thank you for watching.